Okay, welcome today. In this part of JavaScript tutorials, in this part of our JavaScript series, we will be dealing with displaying outputs, displaying JavaScript outputs. And to do that, go ahead and open your text editor. I have my Dreamweaver text editor. You can use anyone. You can use Notepad++, Sublime. There are a lot of them out there. All right. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you. So there are certain situations in which you may need to generate output for your JavaScript code. For example, you want to see the output of a calculation you have done, or you want to display the value of a variable. Okay, these are circumstances where you might need to display an output, and there are several ways to do that. Okay, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and save this to my desktop. I will create a folder called JavaScript tutorial. I assume you already created your own folder, and so I'm going to call this output. Okay, and so the first one we're going to we'll look at is the writing output to browser's console. Okay, writing output to browser's console. And to do that, I'll just go ahead and create a variable. But before I create a variable, I'll declare the script tag. You remember I told you this, and if you know the method I'm using, I told you there are three ways to use JavaScript code. If you know this method, just go ahead and write it in the comment section. Go ahead and write it in the comment section. I told you there are three types. There is the embedded, there is the inline, and there is the external. Okay, so this one I'm using, what is it called? Go ahead and let me know your answer on the comment section. Okay, so I'm going to let me quickly declare a variable called x, and I'm going to say y. Don't worry about variable, we'll go into details. We'll go into details. I'm sure we already treated variables. If you are not familiar with it, you just go and watch the tutorial on variables. And so I'm going to declare another one. I'll call this total. And so total will equal to x plus y. And so now I'm going to display the output on the console log on the console. And to do that, you use the keyword console.log, open and close bracket. Then I'm just going to display the output of the total in the console. Now I'm going to go ahead and open the browser. I will locate the file where I have it on the desktop. I thought I saved this there. Okay, let me go ahead and resave this. Okay, and so here we are. I'll open it with Chrome. Now, if you look at this screen, you will notice that the screen is blank. The screen is empty. Why? Because we outputted it to the console. Now, to see the console, you go to your top right of your Google Chrome browser. Then you go to tools, then you click on developers tools, and now it's going to give you this option. Okay, and now you see some other tabs on the screen. You see console. Just go ahead and click on console. Now you see an error displayed, uncut reference could not be defined in line 16. And so I'll go ahead and find out where that is coming from. Console log. Okay, so you see I spelled that wrongly, so I'm going to add E. I'll update it. Then I'll reload the screen. Okay, see, so it's saying not available. That's let me see why it's saying that. Okay, so we defined this variable, but we didn't assign it to anything. So I'm just going to add values to them. When we were talking about variables and the types of variables, we talked about what did they call it? We talked about unassigned variables, and so I'm just going to add 10 here. And so the idea, what we're trying to do today is just to, so you see we have 15 on the console, and so this console, using the console is very important. Sometimes you want to debug. Now what appears on the console doesn't show on your screen, because sometimes you'll be running a code and it's not showing on your web browser, but you want to see what is wrong with the output. And so console log is very important, and so in the next one I want to show you, is displaying output in alert dialog box. Displaying output in alert dialog box. So to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and comment this. I taught you how to comment in the previous lecture, and so I'll go ahead and comment this out. Where do I have my asterisks? Okay, so that's it. And so I'm going to go ahead and close it. I'm sorry, my keyboard is a little messy. I'll just copy this. It's a new system and I'm trying to understand that. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to just comment out the console. I need to the output, and I'll use an alert dialog box. And to do that, use the keyword called alert, and I'll call in the variable I want to output. And when I reload this page, and you see the dialog box, the console would go off because I commented it out, but you see a dialog box will appear. Okay, now here we are. Look at the dialog box appear with the output of the calculation. And so that's the second one. That's the second way to generate an output. Now another way to generate an output that I want to show you is writing output to the browser window. We're going to use a keyword called document.write. So this one I'm going to comment out this as well, and I'm going to use a document.write. And so I'm going to say total. And so let's go ahead and save this and reload the page. And so you see it's appearing, and on the console nothing is showing here. But there's something you need to know about document.write. If you use document.write method after the page has been loaded, it will override all existing content in that document. All right, and so that's something you need to and now the last one I want to show us is inserting output inside an HTML element. All right, inserting an output inside an HTML element. And to do that, I would go ahead and show you how it works. Okay, now here we have all of this. I'm going to also go ahead and comment this out so that I would collapse this so we can have a clear screen. Now to do this, what we're trying to do is to insert the output within a particular place in our HTML document. In other words, you might generate an output and you want it to show in a particular place. And so in this case, I'm going to add a div, and I will give the div an ID. And I'll say ID, I'll call it output. Okay, so whatever output we generated, we want it to show at this point here. Okay, I'll reload the page and I'll go ahead and delete out the hello. Whatever output we generate is gonna. So to do this, we need to do this. We'll say we'll use the keyword document.getElementById. Then now we're going to give the name of the elements, which is output. So what we are trying to do, we are saying pick this output, then we're going to use another keyword called inner HTML. And what we're saying is, what we're simply saying here is, get the elements with this ID, then inside the HTML pass the output total. And so whatever we have, we would the output will be displayed this place where we wrote hello. So I'm just going to go ahead and refresh that. So you see it overrode everything that was down in the screen and displayed it. So depending on what you want to display on your screen, and where you want to display, this is very ideal, and I use that a lot, much more than any other thing. So whatever you have on the screen, or at that point, this will override it. Okay, that's it. That's it with this part of the tutorial. You let me know what you think about this tutorial and leave a comment. And I have a question for you, and I have a little assignment. I have a question for you. What are the three ways? Is it three? Yeah, 3 ways you can output an element, output a JavaScript output, display JavaScript output to the browser. So write them. I need to know you're following me. Leave your answers in the comment section. Then lastly, I need you to do an assignment. Multiply two numbers. Okay, you're going to need to define the variables, do the calculation, then display the output on the browser using the getElementById method that's displaying it within the HTML element. And I'll see you in the next tutorial. My name is Chiki.